In this module, we will look at the Traffic Collision and Avoidance System, or Tcas, installed in the aircraft. We will start out with a system description. Next, we will look at the various operating modes, followed by the Tcas failure indications. We will finish this module with a look at the self-test feature. The Collins Tcas Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System is installed in the aircraft. This Tcas operates in conjunction with the ATC Mode S transponder system to identify potential collision threats and to provide visual and oral advisories for collision avoidance. Essentially, the system surrounds the aircraft with a bubble of protected airspace that is monitored for responses from other aircraft transponders. The boundaries of the bubble are defined by the time required for the intruder aircraft to reach the closest point of approach to your aircraft. The closest point of approach is called CPA. The system determines the CPA by predicting the other aircraft's bearing, distance, and altitude based on their transponder information. If the target becomes a threat, then visual and oral alerts are issued to fit the urgency of the situation. If the other aircraft only has a Mode A transponder, then a traffic advisory will appear on the screen. If the other aircraft has a Mode C transponder, then the system is able to command a climb or descend maneuver to avoid the aircraft. The system won't detect an aircraft that doesn't have a transponder. The system issues the following traffic alerts listed in descending order of urgency: resolution advisories, 15 to 35 seconds of CPA; traffic advisories, 20 to 48 seconds of CPA; proximate advisories, traffic that is within 6 nautical miles away and is not classified as RA or TA traffic, or other aircraft within the maximum range of display. The system transmits interrogations at a frequency of 1030 MHz and receives replies at a frequency of 1090 MHz. The maximum surveillance range of the system is 14 nautical miles, with a display of detected aircraft of up to 12 nautical miles. Tcas traffic monitoring is continuous, and the system can detect and track up to 30 aircraft simultaneously. The Tcas system consists of a control unit, a transmitter-receiver unit, 2 vertical speed traffic advisory resolution advisory indicators, or VSI TRAs, 1 each for the captain and first officer, 2 separate but identical antennas, and oral alerts. One antenna is mounted on the bottom of the fuselage, whereas the second antenna is located on the top of the fuselage. The Tcas control unit is located on the center console. It has a rotary selector and a test button. The vertical speed indicator has 2 push buttons. The 2 push buttons on the vertical speed indicator are identified respectively as A, B, and range. Each push of the switch toggles the selection to the next mode. Click on the AB push button to switch the Tcas mode. The AB push button selects the vertical profile where the system searches for other traffic. The 3 position options are above, normal, or below. Each push of the button toggles the selection to the next altitude option. The range push button switch enables the selection of the 6 nautical mile or 12 nautical mile forward range on the VSI TRA indicator. The Tcas control unit features a test push button switch and a mode selector switch with detented positions identified as standby, auto, and TA only. In the standby mode, power is supplied to the Tcas system, but the Tcas functions are inhibited. The auto mode is the normal operating mode. In this mode, the Tcas tracks all aircraft in the surveillance area and provides both traffic and resolution advisories. These advisories will be discussed shortly. The TA-only mode position is the same as the auto mode, except that there are no resolution advisories. The test push-button switch enables the system to verify proper operation of oral advisories, as well as traffic and resolution advisory displays. use of the test button will affect the mode S ATC transponder during certain portions of the test. The Tcas transmitter-receiver unit contains circuits to transmit and receive signals, process received signals, compute data from received signals, and interface with other components of the Tcas system. Two VSI TRA indicators, one for the captain and one for the first officer, replace the conventional vertical speed indicators instruments on the flight instrument panel. Each indicator consists of a color liquid crystal display panel and a bezel-mounted light sensor. Each indicator display is continuously updated by microprocessors within the transmitter-receiver unit. The light sensor is a photodetector which senses ambient light and automatically adjusts the display brightness. The indicators display traffic information from the transmitter-receiver unit as well as vertical speed information from the air data system. Traffic is displayed with color-coded aircraft symbols on the VSI TRA display. The maximum range for traffic display on the indicators is 12 nautical miles. The minimum range selectable is 6 nautical miles, with the inner range ring remaining at 2 nautical miles relative to the aircraft. These are the only two selections possible. Each indicator has a display test, which is activated from the test push button. Tcas antennas are directional, 4-element, vertically polarized, monopole antennas that can transmit interrogations in 4 directions and receive replies from all directions. The Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System continuously monitors the traffic within the system surveillance range. When the mode selector switch on the Tcas control unit is set to an appropriate operating mode, and the display push button switches are set to an appropriate VSI TRA display mode, the system searches the surrounding airspace and analyzes traffic information within the prescribed range. If the system detects traffic penetration into the protected airspace around the aircraft, a traffic or resolution advisory is issued to the crew. These advisories include a visual display of traffic proximity, as well as synthesized voiced commands to the flight crew of what corrective action to take to achieve a safe vertical separation between the aircraft and intruding traffic. The system also depicts graphic instructions for the flight crew to alter their flight path in order to avoid a conflict. When the intruding traffic is no longer a hazard to the aircraft, a clear of conflict voice message is issued to the flight crew. When the mode selector switch on the Tcas control unit is set to standby, all Tcas operations are disabled, including interrogations. This mode is indicated by a Tcas off flag displayed on the right-hand side of the VSI TRA display. When the mode selector switch on the Tcas control unit is set to auto, all Tcas operations are automatic and continuous. From the information received, the system will compute the speed and flight path of an addressed aircraft to determine the closest point of approach. The CPA is the minimum separation between the Tcas-equipped aircraft and the addressed aircraft. The system issues traffic or resolution advisory to the flight crew depending on the CPA of the addressed aircraft. The advisory consists of a synthesized voice command which is fed through the audio integrating system to the flight compartment speakers and flight crew headsets, and a visual advisory which appears on both the captain's and first officer's VSI TRA indicators. The Tcas transmitter-receiver unit provides traffic and resolution advisory data to the VSI TRA indicators. The data is converted to a display format in the indicators. Symbol generators in the indicators generate display characters, including traffic symbols. There are 4 types of traffic symbols: an open cyan-colored diamond, a solid cyan-colored diamond, a solid yellow-colored circle, and a solid red-colored square. An open cyan-colored diamond represents other traffic, which is traffic within the selected traffic display range and altitude mode, but not considered a collision threat. A solid cyan-colored diamond represents proximate traffic, which is traffic within plus or minus 1,200 feet relative altitude and within 6 nautical miles of your own aircraft, but not considered a collision threat. A solid yellow-colored circle represents a traffic advisory, which is traffic that is approximately 40 seconds from the CPA of the aircraft. A solid red-colored square represents a resolution advisory. This is traffic that is approximately 25 seconds from the CPA of the aircraft, therefore alerting the flight crew to a possible immediate evasive maneuver. Some alerts may not require an evasive maneuver, for example, monitor vertical speed. Each traffic symbol is accompanied by an applicable traffic data tag, which consists of a 2-digit number and a vertical speed direction arrow. The altitude of the intruder aircraft relative to your aircraft is displayed in hundreds of feet by 2 numbers. If the target is above or below you, a plus or minus sign will precede the 2-number tag. So an aircraft that is 1,000 feet above you will be shown with a plus 10 above its target symbol. An aircraft that is 200 feet below you will be shown with a minus 2 below its target symbol. If the intruder aircraft is climbing or descending at least 500 feet per minute, there will be an up or down arrow beside its target symbol. Up means the aircraft is climbing, down means the aircraft is descending. If the aircraft is climbing or descending less than 500 feet per minute, there will be no arrow. During a traffic advisory, when in the TA mode only, the VSI TRA indicators will display the appropriate traffic symbol, and the message TA only will appear in the bottom right-hand corner of each indicator. The oral advisory, traffic, 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 will also sound over the flight compartment speakers and flight crew headsets. TA oral advisories are inhibited when the aircraft is less than 900 feet above ground level, when the aircraft is descending, and 1,100 feet above ground level when the aircraft is climbing. If the TA advisory is upgraded to an RA, the VSI TRA indicators will display the appropriate traffic symbol, as well as a recommended vertical speed range, represented by a green arc, and a restricted vertical speed range, represented by a red arc, on the vertical speed scale. Simultaneously, the oral advisory climb, 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 or descend, 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 depending on the traffic flight path, will sound over the flight compartment speakers and the flight crew headsets. In addition, other RA oral advisories are issued, depending on traffic conditions. We will take a look at each type of advisory. The oral advisory climb, crossing, climb, climb, crossing, climb indicates the flight path of the aircraft will cross the path of the other traffic while maintaining a safe separation. In this case, climb at the rate shown by the green arc on the VSI TRA display. The oral advisory, adjust vertical speed, adjust, indicates that you should reduce or increase the rate of climb to that shown by the green arc on the VSI TRA. The oral advisory, descend, crossing, descend, descend, crossing, descend, indicates you should descend at the rate shown by the green arc on the VSI TRA display, and the flight path of the aircraft will cross the path of the other traffic while maintaining safe separation. A reduced descent message means you should reduce your rate of descent to that shown by the green arc on the VSI TRA display. The advisory, monitor vertical speed, indicates that you should monitor your present vertical speed to prevent entering the restricted vertical speed range depicted by a red arc on the display. The oral advisory, increase climb, indicates that the rate of climb should be increased. The advisory will follow the climb advisory if the conflicting traffic flight path changes. A descend advisory will depict a green arc on the VSI to show the rate of descent required to clear a traffic threat. If that rate of descent turns out to be insufficient, the oral advisory, increase descent, sounds, and your rate of descent should be increased. The oral advisory, climb now, sounds when a reversal of vertical speed is required. This will usually follow the descend advisory. The rate of climb required will be shown by a green arc on the VSI. The advisory, descend now, will follow the climb resolution advisory when a reversal of vertical speed is required. The descent rate required will be shown with a green arc on the VSI. Clear of conflict is issued when the conflicting traffic is no longer a collision threat. The pilot should promptly return to the previously assigned altitude. The descend advisories are inhibited when the aircraft is less than 1,000 feet AGL during an approach or below 1,200 feet AGL during takeoff. Increased descent advisories are inhibited when the aircraft is less than 1,400 feet AGL during a descent or less than 1,650 feet during a climb. The chart displayed on this screen shows the inhibition conditions for the RA climb and RA increase climb. All resolution advisories are inhibited when the aircraft is less than 1,100 feet AGL during a climb and 900 feet AGL during a descent. The Tcas automatically reverts to TA-only mode at these points. If the intruder's altitude is calculated as being below 380 feet, then it is considered to be on the ground and it is ignored for collision avoidance purposes. When the mode selector switch on the Tcas control unit is set to TA only, the Tcas operation is the same as auto mode except that only traffic advisories are issued. The TA only mode is enunciated as TA only on the bottom right-hand corner of the VSI TRA indicator display. 3 failure indications appear on the VSI TRA indicators. These failure indications are vertical speed failure, RA failure, Tcas failure. Tcas failure will appear on the right-hand side of the vertical speed indicator display when a system malfunction occurs during normal operation. Tcas off will appear on the right-hand side of the vertical speed indicator display when the Tcas system is in standby. TD fail is displayed when the Tcas traffic detection function is unreliable. RA failure will appear on the top right-hand corner of the vertical speed indicator display to indicate the resolution advisory is unreliable. VS will appear on the top left-hand corner of the vertical speed indicator display to indicate that the vertical speed is unreliable. In this case, the vertical speed pointer will be removed from view. When the test push-button switch on the Tcas control unit is pressed, a system self-test is initiated and enunciated by the word test appearing on the right side of the vertical speed indicator display. If a failure is detected during the test, the words Tcas failure will replace the test indication. All failure indications remain on until the failure is corrected. If no faults are detected at the end of the test sequence, the Tcas system test OK oral message will sound over the flight compartment speakers and flight crew headsets. If any faults are detected, the Tcas system test failure oral message will sound over the flight compartment speakers and flight crew headsets. This concludes the Tcas module. Tcas traffic monitoring is continuous and the system can detect and track up to 30 aircraft simultaneously.